What is up, Karatics? Welcome to the off-road capability testing for the Bravado Rumpo Custom. This custom off-road style van released about 4 years ago with the Further Adventures in Finance and Felony update, and is still currently the best all-around van in the class for tracks with lots of turns. This off-road capability test is an update to my off-road capability testing series where I've tested the majority of off-road capable vehicles in GTA 5 Online. I will leave a link to a playlist down below in the pinned comment where you will find all the other vehicles I've done already so that you can compare. Before we start, if you have any questions as to how each of the obstacles are scored, please refer to the tutorial video which is linked in the pinned comment. Also remember that the most updated spreadsheet with all the off-road capability scores for vehicles I've tested so far will be linked in the pinned comment as well. The following points for each obstacle will be out of 10 possible points. The Rumpo Custom is fully customized with stock suspension. Again, if you have any questions as to how each obstacle is scored, it is in full detail. Refer to tutorial video which is linked in the pinned comment. Starting off with the incline test from a flat surface, the Rumpo Custom has good traction, but its weight coupled with its lack of torque makes it severely struggle in this test, giving it a 3 out of 10. In stage 2 of this test, where it started at an angled position, it struggles even more, which gives it a 2.5 out of 10. If we take both those scores, we get an average of 2.75 for the incline test, which is very poor, but in other tests is where it really does well and really shines. Next, we have the dirt incline test. The Rumpo's good traction from its 4x4 drivetrain and good all-around clearance allows it to easily make it to the top, which gives it a 10 out of 10. Dirt braking is very good for your vehicle so large and heavy. It stops before the last red block. According to the markers, it gets a 10 out of 10. Rock crawling for the Rumpo Custom is good, but its long wheelbase makes it bottom out a lot over the obstacles. Through all 3 of the obstacles, it unfortunately bottoms out a total of 5 times, which gives it a 5 out of 10. In stage 2 of this test, which is subjectively scored, it has no hesitation over the first 2 obstacles, but it does struggle over the last one. I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10. If we take both of those scores, we get an average of 6.5 out of 10 for the rock crawling test, which is pretty average. Slightly above average, it's not too bad for a vehicle like this. Powertrain is pretty average. We see wheel spin mainly from the passenger side front wheel and passenger side rear wheel for the majority of the test. It does, however, seem to continue only at the front towards the end of the test. The most I can give it is a 7 out of 10. Next up, we have bumper clearance. It only scrapes once at the rear, which gives it a 9 out of 10. Suspension travel is above average. According to the markers, it gets a 6 out of 10. High-speed stability is very good, but not on par with the top trucks. It gets an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have deep water testing. This is where the Rumpo Custom really impresses me. In stage 1, it makes it to the end, which gives it a 10 out of 10. In stage 2 of this test, which is the deeper side, I just can't believe how well it does considering it goes almost completely underwater. It surprisingly makes it to the end, which gives it a 10 out of 10. If we take both those scores, of course they were both 10, we get an average of 10 for the deep water test, which is what we usually see from usually only large trucks get those types of scores, so that's a very impressive showing from the Rumpo Custom. And finally, we have the dirt acceleration test. This path is exactly a quarter mile long. Using the handbrake launch, it gets a 15-second quarter mile. Not bad for a van. This gives it a 5 out of 10 for this test. Added all together, the off-road capability score is 74.25 out of 100. That is a very good score for an off-road van. It mainly struggles with the incline test due to its lack of torque and weight. And in the dirt acceleration test, it does struggle there as well. It could use a little bit less off-road speed loss in the game code, but it's still pretty good nonetheless. So if we compare the Rumpo Custom to all the van class vehicles I've tested so far, that places it here in first place because none of the other vans are off-road capable enough to qualify due to their drivetrain and clearance. But if we compare it to all the vehicles I've tested so far from all the different classes, including SUVs and utility and stuff like that, that places it here in 20th place, right between the Contender and the Hellion, which is actually very impressive. Keep in mind that these positions may change as I test more vehicles and newer ones release. All in all, the Rumpo Custom is a decent choice for off-roading and definitely something that can add some variety to your off-roading choices. The Rumpo costs about $130,000, and in the current state of GTA, where almost any new vehicle costs over $1 million, I'm gonna say that this is actually a bargain. If this vehicle would have been added in a recent update, it would have easily cost over $800,000. Keep in mind that the Rumpo Custom sadly has no visual customization, but at least it looks pretty cool in its stock form, with pretty much all the off-road options and upgrades already on its stock. So is it worth buying the Rumpo Custom? Honestly, I'm gonna say yes. It is a very versatile vehicle that can pretty much do it all. Plus, it is extremely competitive with the Gang Burrito and the Vans class races, which gives you a good reason to buy it. I will be testing more off-road capable vehicles from the Bravado brand, such as the Dune Loader and the Bison pickup trucks later on. But keep in mind that the game will not allow me to test vehicles like the Half-Track or the Sasquatch Monster Truck because they are not raceable, so keep that in mind. I can only test vehicles on this track that are raceable vehicles. Well, that's it guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you'd like to see the other videos on the other vehicles I've tested so far and how the Bravado Rumpo Custom compares to all of them, I will link the playlist down below in the pinned comment, as well as a spreadsheet which will contain the most updated breakdown and scores for all vehicles in one place. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.